My name is Uche Okireke Fisher. I'm testifying from Sydney in Australia. This year the devil really came for me, but I'm so happy that God showed up and showed out in my case. My ordeal commenced on the 30th of May. I'd gone to the doctor because I was suffering from severe shortness of breath. I had a swelling around my ankle and I had a pre-existing chronic sinuses. So on getting to the doctor, she immediately ordered a CT scan, an x-ray. And when the images came, she took one look at the images and told me that there was a problem with my lungs. And then subsequently she said I could have an enlarged heart. However, on that day, she was quite happy to prescribe medication, antibiotics. However, on the 28th of June, I became really sick. I woke up visibly sick and shaking. My chest was quite heavy. It appeared like I was drowning in my own mucor, and my body was generating a lot of mucor, and it kind of felt like I had razor blades in my chest. Anyway, I quickly drove myself to the hospital. When I got there, I met the same technician that had helped me before, and he said to me that, I went through the whole X-ray scan again, and he saw the images, and he said to me that the image seems to suggest that I'm worse off than I was when I was here a month ago, and he asked me to make sure I see a doctor that day. Anyway, I saw another doctor, the same thing. The doctor looked at the results and said, listen, ma'am, you got to pack a bag and you got to find your way to the emergency department of the nearest hospital. We waited there. Eventually we saw a doctor. The doctor took one look at me. She saw I was struggling immensely with my breathing, organized my blood test, and I was then subjected to a CT scan with contrast. Eventually she called myself and my husband to a corner of the hospital to say, listen, I have been working with a senior respiratory consultant behind the scene, and he seems to be of the view or opinion that you might have there's a real possibility you have a medical condition by name sarcoidosis of the lungs. And I remember saying, so what exactly is that? One thing that she said that also terrified me was she then said to me, in spite of that diagnosis or possible diagnosis, the consultant is really very unhappy about the CT scan, and he would want to undergo further investigation. So do expect calls from the hospital the next day. So the next day being a Monday, 30th of June, the hospital, it was like everyone was calling me at the same time. Eventually they booked me for, I was booked in for a heart scan, the echo scan, and I was also booked in for a PET scan. The PET scan really kind of worried me because, everyone knows that is related to cancer. So that kind of made me feel like they were really suspicious of the fact that I could have cancer. So on that day, on the next day, the 1st of July, I made myself available for the PET scan. I went to the radiology clinic. So this was on the 1st of July, and I had to go to hospital on the 3rd to get the result of the PET scan. The doctor said to me, I'm sorry I don't have good news. I was like, oh, what is it? And he said he brought out this whole visual on his computer signifying my heart. So everything that could possibly go wrong in a pair of lungs was wrong with mine. And then he showed me the result from the PET scan. It was basically saying that the PET scan does confirm what they had seen in the CT scan, and that there was a flurry of bright colors there representing hypermetabolic activity around my lungs, and apparently cancerous cells basically react like that. So as you can imagine, I was just like, oh my God. And then at that moment, the significance of my calamity and my health crisis began to crystallize. I realized that I was definitely in deep trouble. And when I got there, it was they gave me the written report from the PET scan, and what I saw, that the first sentence there said left upper lobe mass and extensive lymphadenopathy, indicative of lung cancer or sarcoidosis. On the 7th